I'm Wade Sankey. This is the Sankey Rodeo Show podcast from the cabin right here on the ranch in Sankey, America. It's not going to get any better than that. You just will go. All right. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Pendleton Roundup. Justin Terry and Mikal.
Wright. Yep.
Not a Wright brother.
No. Could be, though. Could be.
So, Mikal is the social media director. Is that your title?
Coordinator
For the Pendleton Roundup.
Yep.
Justin is what's your title?
Yeah, I've been livestock director the last 6 years.
Awesome.
The first 2 were Queen and Court. Actually, all of us were on the board that long. I've actually missed a year because of COVID. We counted it against our time of service, but yeah.
So you only had to do it 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I'll say this on here. I really appreciate you guys during the COVID year because you guys canceled. You didn't have a rodeo, but you still went ahead and paid some salaries and paid some income towards a lot of people like me and all of your other contract labor. And I think that's one of the coolest things that any rodeo has ever done. So we really appreciate that. And I think people should know about it too. So
yeah, that Litter Butt Cares was a pretty neat thing we got to be involved in. I think we raised close to $1 million. And it was just something we could do that year because we didn't do the rodeo, like you said. And I think it really gave back to, up yourself, horses still got to eat year round, whether you got going to rodeos or not. And we try to do it, obviously, from my perspective, because I work with you, but then also a lot of the people that work inside the grounds during the rodeo, like the kids at the swim team or the wrestling, that's what they raise their money for the year, a lot of it at the roundup. So we tried to make them whole for some of their fundraising too. So it was a pretty neat deal.
Yeah, Roundup is like the biggest, fundraiser for all these nonprofits that are in Pendleton, and there's a lot. So from Altrusa, and they're dispersing all those monies to all these amazing causes that go on in our community.
So is the economic impact of the Roundup the biggest thing in Pendleton?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, we're doing a new study this year on it.
Yep.
Because we continue to grow and do things through the grounds and, do new things and, it costs money and we had to know what that, what does that mean to us and to the community. So actually we're paying for a new one. I think it's going to be for 2025 or 2026. So we'll have the more up-to-date statistics on that. But yeah, definitely.
Do you know what the stats are now or what the last study said?
I'm trying to think. 17 million? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's around 15 to 20 million.
Yeah. That's what I was saying, 17. Yeah.
And what's the population of Pendleton?
16,000.
16. Mm-hmm. That's more than I would have thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool. It's such a huge event in such a small community. So if somebody hasn't ever been there, I think most of the people listening to us on this podcast are probably going to have been there or know what it is. But if you haven't been there, why go?
Yeah. I mean, I think what defines this, the true cowboy spirit of Pendleton Roundup is what it, to me, obviously, I like to rodeo, team up, but obviously arenas are arenas with dirt and how they're set for the most part, right? But Pendleton's so unique with the grass, with the buck and shoots, just with the Indians. So much goes on during the week, and it's just all part of how, cowboy is to me what really draws it. And, I think one thing I thought of when, since I've been on the board, is the Cowboy Channel really kicked off and did the 100 rodeos, 100-day deal, and really got a lot of traction the last few years. And we all talked about it internally. If people see our rodeo is so unique, but I think that's one of the draws to it, like you said, is coming to it. We wondered if people don't see it on TV, are they still going to want to come because now they can see it? Why do you need to be there? But it's actually the opposite. It's actually drawn more people. We're actually selling more tickets because they see it and go, "That's cool. I want to be a part of that thing." Yeah. So that was one thing I think was that I didn't see, but it has come out true. But yeah, I think just that's one of the best parts of our rodeo.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think I run into a lot of people, and the conversation always comes up like, "What do you do?" And I tell them, and they're like, "Oh man, I love rodeos. I always wanted to go." And I was like, "Well, you got to go to this one. It's one of the best ones in the world. There's something about it. You got what I love about it is no sponsorship in the arena. It's not kind of like other arenas where there's sponsors everywhere, and it's just how it was back in 1910. So that's a great aspect. Obviously, Native American aspect. That's been a partnership since the beginning as well. And what else do I love about it? There's so many things, man. There's so many things.
I'll tell you one thing I love about it is the whole community.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's town stops. For the rodeo.
Yeah, there's no school.
No school.
This is amazing.
That is one thing too. The 1,500 volunteers that we have. You know, that's just unbelievable.
Yeah,
you
we
know?
couldn't do it without the volunteers. I mean,
No.
it's such a big production. I mean, now it's just gotten bigger. Obviously, we have Expos now, which has been a bigger positive deal to us than when we used to have the other event. Expos has been great. And then we start, I'm running Slack Monday, Tuesday, full days of Slack, plus Expos at night. Then we got, of course, the rodeo kicks. So we got Slack Wednesday morning, Slack Thursday morning, plus perfs Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, of course. So many volunteers behind the scenes doing so many things. It just makes it all happen, so.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. I mean,
yeah. So how is your committee or your board structured?
Yeah, so we have 16 people on the board plus the president. We have everything, like myself, the livestock. Tyler Bowman's competitive events. We got Arena, Tanner Hawkins. We got Corey Neistat sponsors. We got the office, Kevin Jordan, Indians, Jason Hill. We got the wagons and parades, Tim O'Hanlon. We got the programs and ushers, Harper Jones, security, Kinsey Hansel. So we break it down to
Pat Ray.
Pat Ray, of course, is a publicity. Pat does a great job. So we break it into multiple areas. That way everybody can kind of, be the best at what they do. And we meet obviously once a month and talk about how we can do it better. The thing that's pretty interesting to me, being on the board now, is there's so much going on with our company, with the buck and horse and the trademarks and everything we do, just because of the community involvement and how big the event is. We, the rodeo we don't talk about after Vegas. We kind of talk about other things that's going on. It's such a big part of the company of the Pendleton Roundup. And as we get closer to rodeo, of course, we just keep getting more, getting more prepared. But I think it's been just an evolution of how to best. The board's positions make it, the best it can be by everybody has their own role and gets, really into it and figures it out. So I think it's pretty well.
Oiled machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you two work together fairly well.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, we do a lot of stuff. I mean, we're pretty fortunate too. Like, Pendleton is very fortunate. Our rodeo is. And so we have a lot of money not a lot of money. We have money that we've been able to do, CapEx projects. For me, one thing I wanted to do is you want to always try to leave it better than you came as a director, and what I can do, working with like yourself and all the contractors, what's some of the spots that and part of what my directorship entails can make better for the rodeo and also for, the livestock, safer, better, easier to handle, making sure people aren't getting hurt down there. So one thing that was pretty neat for my part of the time was we approved a CapEx project to do under the North Grandstand. So we redid that whole thing. Obviously where you guys all load and things like that for the rough stock. So that was a pretty neat thing we got to put together too.
Yeah, all of the back pins underneath the grandstands.
Exactly. All match up with everything we have now with Noble from the timed event cattle side now clear underneath. So that was a pretty neat deal we got to do. But everybody kind of looks ways they can make the whole, the campus, the event better by what they're doing for them, part of their directorship.
Yeah. So what's your history? How did you end up getting talked into this? And is there any paid positions on the board?
None of them are paid.
Yeah. So all the board members are volunteers.
Yeah. We have a general manager, Erica Patton.
Okay.
She does a great job. And we have an office staff, like where Mikal works and the ladies over there. They're paid, but none of our positions are paid.
So just to go over this a little bit, and then we'll get back to you. But it's a rodeo that has become an entire business.
Correct.
With everything you're talking about. So you do have a general manager, you've got office staff, you've got paid full-time employees.
I think some of the things that people don't know is that, we get so many people that come into our retail store nowadays and they say, man, you guys got all this, you got a retail store, a whole ticketing office, a whole admin office. And they're like, but you guys only do something once a week out of the year.
Yeah.
But really, it's turned into such a business where we do ticket sales for Pendleton Whiskey Fest, the music fest. We do ticket sales for Jackalope Jamboree that happens here in a couple weeks. So there's a lot of things going on there that people don't realize that it takes all year long to do it.
The trademark's been a huge deal with the Pendleton Whiskey piece and other things we continue to do with our bucking horse just to create more brand recognition and brand value.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of time over the year too, just because people have a lot of ideas and throwing them at you. And we have to go through all those about what makes sense for, we're more about probably fewer things, better, better income, better quality things than a lot of small things is kind of what we try to look at. So, but it takes a lot of time of people to look into it all.
And there's with our stadium, we do rentals, and so all over the Roundup grounds, people are renting out our arena for weddings and renting out the Letterbuck room for funerals and
retirement parties.
Yeah, exactly, everything. So
Yeah. So, do you know the history behind when it went from being just a rodeo event to being a full-time business? Like, can you put a date on when that all took place?
Well, I mean, Eric is our second general manager. First one was Casey Beard. And he started probably, so I've been here 8 years, so he started a little before that. And then, then Erica's is her probably 5th year doing it. He was only there for 6 years. So yeah, he was only there my first 2 years. Casey was, then Erica came in. So 6, he's probably there 6. It's been 12 years having a general manager and getting more prioritization of the business piece, probably.
Yeah. Because I think for a while, even our accounting was kind of like willy-nilly, until we brought in those pieces and started really, keeping track of everything a lot better,
Yeah. No, it's been a big deal to do that.
So you guys have kind of seen it go through that stage. What limits other rodeos from taking it from where they're at to where you guys could be?
Yeah.
And you got to take away the piece that you are Pendleton. You are the Pendleton Roundup. You got the history and you've got the identity. But let's say Joliet, Montana was going to have a rodeo, and then they wanted to make it a name brand. What are some hurdles? What are some suggestions?
And I think, just in business, which, the business of rodeo now, I think, the more organizational you build your organization, the better organization you have, the more details you have as far as like accounting. I think that's a big deal because we can only track everything we do now in our grounds during the rodeo because obviously the rodeo is expensive. And so we can see like what each concession, what, the Double D bar brings in, what the Letterbuck room brings in, where are we doing our expenses are at. I mean, obviously I'm one of the expenses that has expenses. I pay contractors. So I think if the rodeos are coming up, the more they can have, good, clear vision on where they're spending their money and where they're making their money, it just helps you create your business plan a lot better. And then helps you, the more, if you could have some, more money, then you can get bigger grounds or better on the grounds or more contractors or what have you. And so I think we've done a good job at getting more streamlined on budgeting and things like that. We're really big on budgets and sticking with our budgets, and so I think that's been a big issue, big positive step for us.
Yeah. So just run it more like a business, basically.
Yeah, I think so.
What about marketing?
Yeah, we're getting more and more to that too. I mean, especially our company, the brand is so big, and so like it's a lot what Mikal does, like all our social media. Mikal does all that: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. He's very skilled at all the cameras, all that stuff. So we're doing a lot more than plus like the clothing line at the retail store. We work in collaboration with the woolen mills, the blankets we do every year, limited edition blankets, and so we're getting more and more. I mean, that's the next kind of level of things is the brand recognition of how you're going to market things, like what you're saying. So whether it's clothing so I think, that always adds just helps our bottom line because we have to, like any business, what we make is what we can spend. So we need to, if we can find more, revenue generating streams, that's what we're trying to do. Mm-hmm. So, there's a lot of different ideas, and I mean, we're fortunate, with whiskey too. And we're trying to find other avenues to do things too, that you'll see some things coming up the next few months. I think you'll be pretty impressed with too on some of that too.
So can you tell a story about how that all came about, the Pendleton Whiskey deal?
It started before I got on the board, but I've been here through a lot of it. There's some great people that own Hood River Distilleries, Ron and Lene Dodge. And like I said, it happened. I wasn't there when the inner workings of the beginning started, but it might have been Tim Hawkins and some of the guys that passed before me. And they, Ron Dodge had been a fan of Roundup, and he'd come to him, and he had this, insight on this stream of Canadian whiskey. And so he came to our board about making it and branding it. And of course, the Pendleton name is the Woolen Mills, and the Buck and Horse is ours on the trademark piece on that. And so he came to the Roundup, and they said, shoot, that's like a great idea. And so with his help, his company, Hood River Distilleries, has been around for 100 years also with his family and things. And so with his help, it grew. And then I think, since before I came to, the PRCA's whiskey was Pendleton, and just it blew up from that piece. It actually it's great whiskey too, but the marketing piece of it too.
That helps.
Yeah, it's great whiskey. So, and then the marketing, it's just gotten, by we did great on our own for many years, but now with the Proximo purchasing it, it just gave us, or the brand, it gave them more firepower behind it. Because, Hood River Stories is a smaller company, and you get a company like Proximo behind it. Now you have a lot more marketing dollars, a lot more things you can do. So there's many collaborations now besides, you guys have seen the championship bottle like we have here today. They've had a branded bottle for the Minnesota Vikings. Actually, it's a Minnesota Vikings, team on there. They've had Trailblazers. There's many different bottles that have collaborated now. So it just opens your market. So it just helps everybody. It helps them spell more whiskey too. So
so you're not just selling it in your county, in your state.
Yeah. They're getting bigger. They're trying to find other ways. They're doing a marketing campaign about barbecue, and that's the one just how they can spread the
demographics.
The demographic.
Even hunting people. Just hitting all demographics.
Yeah.
Which helps.
Just try to build the brand more than just the rodeo deal, like you said. I think the more we can think bigger, just helps us all. Just because I think we get stuck in our ways of what we do, as a rodeo. But as we can spread out our demographics bigger than that, I think just helps us all from a profitability piece, and we can put more into our rodeo and things like that. So Proximo has been a good partner with that piece. Can
you talk about the money of the Pendleton Whiskey influx to the rodeo? Can you talk about how much, what percentage you make, or?
We're,
just roughly.
I'll just say, we're really fortunate that when Proximo bought it from Ron Lene, they gifted the Roundup Association some money, and we always use that as we don't spend that like on a yearly basis with the rodeo. We use that as a kind of to do big projects with, like when we're going to, say the West End or the retail store, things like that we've done. That helps with bigger projects, but we don't touch it for that. We run our business like a business.
Yeah.
And then now with we do get royalty income from Proximo.
Yeah.
So we need. Everybody, we need whiskey stills to stay good too for royalty. And like I said, we don't use royalty for our rodeo either. We put that in the bank and keep it for things we're going to do around the grounds and things, CapEx projects, things like that. And we get royalty income, a few times a year.
Yeah. So what's that word you just said?
CapEx?
Yeah,
CapEx.
What is that?
Oh. Yeah, that's what we call it. Like when I did the back pins there, so it's a CapEx project, capital expenditure project. So
gotcha.
Our CapEx, say last year we put a few $100,000 into it. It's a lot. And so from that, we put our program out there, what we're going to do. We have to present it to the committee on that, and the committee can look at all the things that everybody throws in what they want to do. Then the committee knows how much you have to spend. And when you throw a project in, like when I did that, I had to get, from Noble and get all it kind of spec'd out and things, so I knew what we were going to spend. So the committee goes through all the projects versus how much money we have to spend it. Then we decided we're going to do that year. So every year we can continue to do things. Like last year, we were there. We spent a bunch of money on painting the grounds and things, and the grounds look a lot sharper now because they just kind of look, updated and just good with a new painting.
Put a new roof this year. Yeah, that's great.
The North and South grandstands both have new roofs on them now after this year and last year.
Yeah.
So that was big. Of course, the pins, the back pins. We do all kinds of stuff.
What about them poor people down there in the Sun Bowl? You ever
that's up
do
for
something for them?
That is up for. Yeah. We do a plan on that right now. Actually.
Yeah, that's actually that just came out recently that we're working on something.
Yeah.
So
we met with the city. Some of our people met with the city last week actually in Pendleton. We're gonna have to. I don't know how much we need to get in talk about it now, but we're just gonna have to move. We're gonna have to do a little to the east side there to get a little bigger footprint for that to happen. But definitely it's in the works right now.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a big deal.
Exciting,
It'll be the biggest project we ever did as far as expense and just changing the grounds right there a lot. So we're kind of just taking it pretty slow and making sure it fits well what we're doing.
But you've been talking about covering it all the way around.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Revamp. This is already out, and we came out in the news, but like our local news, but 1910 room, get maybe a building for that, and fix up the double D bar, and then obviously the East End seating. So
with maybe the seats kind of like the box seats and things on that end, and they make the 1910 a better venue.
Yeah,
maybe more than one story, things like that. That's gonna be a big project.
Yeah,
huge. So
that's pretty neat though. That just the feel of that. What direction is that? Behind the roping box. The feel of that stadium. All the way around there.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's such a cool feeling.
Yeah, the West End is neat.
People love the double D bar. Like something about that spot. seeing the barrel race come in at the last, the last barrel and just going straight shot down, like.
Yeah. So the double D bar would be at the catch pin end.
Yeah, that's the east end. Yeah. But the west end, but the new when they did the grandstands, I think like you said, in the west side, having those grandstands like they are, just makes a better experience.
Yeah.
From back in the old days when you sat in wood bleachers up there and had beer with buckets of beer. I mean, things have changed, right? But I think the change is always, something you think about. We have to keep our tradition alive. It's very important to Pendleton Roundup and always will be. And that's something we have to balance with new things too. So we keep the feel we've always had there, tradition there, from our rodeo, the Indians, all that, but balance it with new things too that makes it a better experience.
Yeah. So this is a super broad question. I don't even know how I would answer this, but how have you done such a good job with everything that you do? Like, just like the shirt you're wearing, like everything that you do fits your theme. Those grandstands, they're new, they're fancy, they're sexy, but they still feel old.
Yeah.
Is that just how you guys roll? Or?
And we even tied the retail store in the same color scheme.
Yeah.
And the retail store is pretty neat. I think it was a good thing to get that done. And I think we've done a good job of whoever's doing the project, like Tim Smith just went off the board. He helped do the retail store. He's very good at doing these bigger projects, but just tying, like you said, the look and the feel. I mean, it's everything from color scheme to how the organizational thing is put there.
Yeah.
I think it just goes with what we have going, when we repainted the grounds, just sharpened everything up. Like if you notice, like you guys had your names up there last year as Grand Marshal. Now those used to be painted on the rocks and now are on the brick, And Pat Ray got some new screen shots there now. It's so much more crisp and clean. And one is like where the buckle or the rodeo of the year deal is, the ones where the champions of the year, and it's on a screenshot now. It's such a more crisp and clean look than it was when it painted on the bricks. So just little things like that you don't notice, but we know, and the colors it pops better and it shows off better. So people, I think you start to see that thing, but it also still fits with what we've always done.
Yeah. I think a lot of this stuff too, whenever a big project comes up, we have a committee for that specific project, and so I think sometimes we even pull some of the past people in, sometimes like Tim Hawkins, we'll ask for their advice, and I think that always kind of maybe brings that around to kind of keeping the same aesthetic,
Yeah.
So,
how many bars are on the Roundup grounds?
Shoot, Double D.
And can you name them all?
I can't remember.
And Happy Canyon, you got to count that too, huh?
Yeah. Goldies.
Yeah, I don't know, there's 7. I get them. Then the margarita deal is the new hot thing. The margarita, the margarita was kind of just a hole in the wall deal. We started for a couple years, but everybody just blew up with the margaritas, so we could build their own bar for that deal now too, and bought more margarita machines. So those have been super popular. I mean, the Double D bar was a great thing to put, like I said, down at the other end, the east end, and 1910 rooms. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so we got to do this geographically.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got the Double D bar.
Yep.
That's one.
Yep.
That's by the catch pin. You've got Letter Buck Room.
Yep.
That's 2.
Yep.
That's across from the Buck and Shoots.
Yep.
Past Director's Room, 3.
Yep.
By the Letter Buck Room.
Yep.
And the margarita bar's out there now.
Yep.
By the Rayleigh Room.
Okay.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
So it's
Rayleigh
across.
Room is kind of that's for sponsors, but there's darn sure having drinks in there too.
So there's 5.
Yeah. The margarita bar. Then there's up on top. There's the
Broken Barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Broken Barrier up top when you go up that
That's
ramp.
what it's called, is the Broken Barrier Bar.
Yeah. Up on top there.
Yep.
So there's all those, and of course in the evenings, Happy Canyon's open. If you want to
And then
get
there's
that.
this secret one. And then the one that we went to last year.
Oh, the helpers room. Yeah.
Helper's Room. Yeah. For volunteers.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's 7 or 8, I think. But there's, and I think, obviously.
Let's hear it.
Well, and the cool one, we talked about, the Bonnie Tucker, that's
Oh yeah,
kinda,
well that's a volunteer. Yeah.
So
that's kind of the.
it's off limits.
Nobody can. You can't. We don't sell beer out of there, but it's probably the funnest place to go drink beer.
We can't tell them
it's
where
top
it is.
secret. Yeah, it's top secret. It's actually the funnest place. I like to drink beer, but it's you have to be a volunteer to drink beer.
Totally,
there, but it's super fun. But no, we have a lot of diversity on that deal, and like it's fun to drink beer, and you don't have to drink beer to have fun, I guess, but it does help. Alcohol sales drive profitability for a rodeo and help us do things. So and it's all the fan experience, the entertainment and stuff. So no, it's been good that way.
Yeah, kind of part of that community.
Yeah.
You don't have to drink. Absolutely not.
No.
There's tons of other stuff to do there.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, go downtown. Shopping.
Yeah.
There's tons.
Right
of
next
stuff
door, we got the native vendors. There's some amazing artistry there. You know,
Yeah, we'll talk about some of that over there in the Indian Village. I've never really been over there because I'm not really busy, but
Yeah.
I haven't had a reason to go over there.
Yeah.
Well, more of their things are staged over in the park,
Yeah.
right? Where they have their vendors set up. You know, then like I said, over in the park right there too, we have a lot of other vendors like, you know, Bloomer trailers right there because we don't have, like, you know, Mikal mentioned earlier, and like you've all seen, we don't have you know, anything inside the stand, anything inside the arena.
Yeah.
So vendors and things have, you know, booths and things outside there in the park, whether it's, you know, Bloomer or Yeti or, you know, definitely they're PRCA sponsors. They're big time sponsors of the PRCA. And we appreciate them, but we don't put signs in the arena. So we have other places for them to kind of have outlets to be able to advertise. And so that's part of what we do in the park right there with those kind of, you know, advertising the different sponsors there.
Yeah.
Then the Indian Village has, you know, things up there too.
So I'm going to kind of cut you off, but how do they see value? I know this is not your job, but how do they see value in sponsoring an event where you don't get any signage in the arena?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Corey Neistat's in charge of, you know, sponsors now, and we do a lot of things. You know, during the year, that there's different levels. Obviously, the sponsors that they, you know, partake in our event, and so he offers different things, whether it's, you know, seats or different things inside the arena, but for people to go to and enjoy the experience. But I mean, obviously, they're not getting signage in there. You know, they have outside places they can, you know, show their vendors things. But yeah, I mean, that's not, you know, not even up for discussion. So
yeah, but prizes for the winners.
Yeah,
that's the only way to get in the arena.
Yeah. No, you know, Yeti. We got, I think, news at Turtle Box new this year.
Yeah.
That's pretty new. They're a big time sponsor, PRCA. And so, yeah, I mean, all the things we do for the contestants as they win, and then we give contestant bags away. Probably other rodeos do too, and so we stuff those with things from the, you know, other event sponsors too that helps them go back. You know, the cowboys and ladies go back to those businesses.
Yeah.
Things too.
Yeah. So, how do you pay for your rodeo?
Just by what we make. I mean, we don't you know, I mentioned earlier, just 100% on, we don't use any money from any royalty to pay for our yearly rodeo. So we have to balance our budget. That's why our budgets are so critical to be accurate, because our budget has to balance with what we make at the rodeo.
Yeah. So it comes off of basically ticket sales, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a little bit of sponsor stuff. Because,
and then the booze sales, you know, out on the grounds during the rodeo.
Yeah. So booze, concessions.
Yeah.
So is that you guys, or is that?
Well, we give a lot of money back on the concessions. So like I said, if the, you know, swim team's doing, or the burger stand or whatever, they get a lot of that money back for their what they do. And I know I think, you know, the sponsor money helps drive awards and things like that too.
Yeah.
That helps pay for that piece. That, you know, we give them saddles and buckles and, you know, I mean, whiskey and coolers, and I mean all that. I can't remember. I mean, Pendleton blankets. I mean, on and on.
Jackets.
That's one of the best things. I mean, the coolest part of Pendleton is, I mean, I think we have this bar. I mean, we have. It'd be hard to know who gets better one than we do of all the gifts. So the awards. So I mean, the sponsors help pay for that stuff. Then we need to balance the rodeo's budget from the, you know, beer sales and things like that to pay for, you know, what I pay for contractors and the timed event cattle and things like that.
Yeah,
I'm one of the guys that spends the money, where the guys in the bars make the money. The Queen and Court's, you know, an expense too. We got 5 ladies we take around quite a bit, and all those a lot of travel and you know, outfits and things like that on them. So obviously there's expense, and then we just have to balance it with what our other revenue we can bring in.
Yeah. Well, how much do you spend to put on your rodeo? Can we talk about that?
I mean, I don't want to put it out. It's hard to put it all down there because we have, you know, really it's hard to balance that, what we spend versus what the sponsors help us out so much with, like, you know, the hay gets sponsored, say, you know, I mean, that kind of expense on that from what I feed, what you feed for all the bucking stock, the time event cattle, wild cow milk. And I mean, if you really added all that up with the sponsor, so it's hard to really give you a super black and white answer on that, because if I had to tell you if we added the hay to the expense on that, it'd be a different number. But
yeah, what's it closer to? 100,000, 500,000, or $1 million, or $1.5 million?
I think it's closer to $1 million.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, I think one thing I've tried to do as we've been very fortunate to win our Outdoor Rodeo of the year. Every year I've been on the board, and it's because I'm on the board.
He says,
Yeah, I know. I think what we need. I think we need to give them perspective too by doing that. When you win that, it kind of means you've been successful. Obviously, people voted for that. So I think that also means you need to keep the tier of what you're doing at a high level. I think that it adds responsibility to us, is what I believe.
Yeah.
And so by having that responsibility, even though we're the last big rodeo of the year before the PRCA's year is over, and then we know people need to do certain things. I think we need to not use that a bit more. Take the responsibility. We need to make the biggest thing we can do, because this is what we're starting to, people know that about us now by winning this award and different things. So I take that as a personal thing in my directorship, to try to make it the best it can, and to reward people like yourselves that bring us the best horses. I want everybody to bring their best. So I want the best show for for everybody watching it. So having to do that, you guys bring the best horses, and so everything that ties that together to me is a big deal.
Yeah. Well, you kind of gave me a compliment. I'll kind of give you one back. But one thing about Pendleton that you guys have always done so well is made everybody feel included and made everybody excited just to be involved. Yeah. Anytime you're getting 1,500 volunteers, that's pretty impressive that you can keep them people coming back. And there's not ego to run people off. You're not making people mad. And I'm a paid employee of yours, but it's last year with all the people we brought out because of the parade marshal deal, we didn't make any money there, but we still want to come back. I mean, we just want to be part of what you do. So that's something you guys have always done really well. Yeah. Don't
it gives me chills.
Yeah, no, that's one thing I appreciate. And one thing, since I came to this position, I did Queen and Court the first 2 years. We can talk about that down the road. But for me, even the livestock piece, what I do in life, for my business, personally, relationships are a big part of is everybody's life, right?
Yeah.
Family or friends or whatever. And so when I came into this, obviously I teamed up. I didn't know if I had a horse that bucked, I tried to sell it because I can't ride a bucking horse. But so the cool thing, working with you, we've turned into great friends, and you've really helped me learn the perspective from, the rough stock contracting side and what we're looking for, what we're trying to get here to make it the best. So I appreciate, that from you. And, I think so. When I saw that and tried to learn that, also when I got to meet, get to know, get relationships with the guys of all our contractors, it's just important to me as I've made a few changes over the years to try to make it better and to fit what happens in the rodeo world with different contractors, with their business changes. But to me, it's been a big deal to keep with your help, to keep the camaraderie back there great, to keep everybody's like a family back there, and you're at the camp back there where you guys all hang out, like everybody back there and have a beer, just talk, wives, you guys and your kids running around, just a great atmosphere. You got fire going at night, playing guitar. I like that part. To me is a big deal. Everybody just gets along. Nobody's all cranky, or nobody feels like they didn't get they're enough for their deal. And so that was a big deal after I learned a little bit how I wanted to keep it for myself and for a long term, too. So.
And Randy Brocker was the guy that I worked for when your position before you showed up.
Yep.
And he was insistent that was important.
Yep.
And I know that he made a lot of changes to make sure that everybody got along and worked good together. So that's super important, because contractors have got a little bit of ego.
Yeah.
So it's important that works out.
Yeah, no, I think I just wanted Randy did a great job, Dave O'Neill before him, and they did a great job. So I wanted to make sure that was a big, key to what I wanted to do. Obviously I want to bring the best horses and have the best stock, but the relationship and the camaraderie of everybody back there is a huge. If it doesn't fit like that, then you're going to have problems. It's not going to just flow very well, So
well, it's kind of like an office setting.
Yeah.
If you got too much drama, nothing's going to work.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know shit about an office, I guess.
No,
but
that's just kind
of what I compared it to.
Yeah. We don't want any drama back there. We want everybody to have fun and get along and want to come back next year type deal, So, and bring their best horses. So
and bulls.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Indian Village and stuff in the park. We kind of changed gears after we started talking about that. But that's where your sponsors are all set up.
Yeah.
And you're a lot of retail, but not your retail.
Yeah. It's important too. As part of Michael mentioned earlier about it's not even from our town, but a lot of people sell clothes and jewelry and things like that. So once you get across the grounds, even on the road right there, clear up past, 2 blocks up, there's, people selling kind of a different, not a village, I'd say, but different kind of little, by the mini mart there and that. There's a lot of
There's all sorts of things people are selling. Yeah,
you know, clothes and jewelry and fancy stuff, boutique type stuff that ladies love, and so that all goes up there, kind of back to that mini mart there, and then clear down to like on the corner across where the Mexican restaurant is, like, you know, Cody's cowboy hats and all those guys are there selling, you know, quality stuff too, you know, hats and boots and all that. Then of course you can go up to Main Street, like we talked earlier, and there's a lot going on up there too. So it's kind of like you said, the community is involved from a lot of aspects and a lot of different parts outside the grounds too. Yeah. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing we got hanging is your history.
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's very funny. I was
Where'd you grow up?
I went to high school in Hermiston actually, and then I went to college. I actually rode at Blue Mountain because you can rodeo. You can use 3 years of eligibility at 2-year school, so we dang sure took a part of that. We took that to heart. We went 3 years at Blue Mountain so you could team rope and things, and then I went to U of I after that.
And Blue Mountain's in Pendleton.
Yeah, in Pendleton. Yeah, so I went there. I went and spent 3 years there, kind of getting school and rodeo and things, and then went to U of I, University of Idaho. And then came back to Hermiston after that. And my girlfriend then, who's my wife now, is Kimberly. And she was a princess and a queen on the roundup back in, I should tell how old she is now, but like 95, 96. So we did that. So she did that. And in the meantime, after I got back after college and came back, I started being a volunteer. And I was a wild cow milking judge. Pretty integral part of the rodeo.
Absolutely.
So we did that, and over the years, just, you know, got, you know, the people I know there and their relationship and things, and somebody I can't remember, Randy Brocker, I think, ran me for the board, and I was able to get on the board. And
what do you mean ran you for the board? Like,
well, so
you got a postcard that said congratulations.
Yeah. Well,
you just got voluntold.
Yeah, no, it's actually a pretty detailed. When we have to get new directors every year. This year there'll be 2. I'm going off this year, and T will be done this year, so it'll be 2 for next year. So, you know, if I think Wade Sankey's great, there's a few pieces of paper you have to fill out, and then we have a setting where you come in and answer questions. You know, with all 16 of us there asking questions, kind of a congressional hearing. But you're sitting there, and we all get to ask you questions at one, you know. So
or an interview.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like an interview, and so we do that, and then maybe. Depends on the year how many different people ran for different positions. Then we pick how many we need for the year. That's how you get on the board.
Yeah. So how many people? Like how's your? You have terms.
Yeah.
How's your replacement crop? Okay. That's a big thing about volunteer labor.
That's a good thing to talk about. So the board, because there's different perspectives on this and rodeo. I mean, some rodeos, you go to many of the years. Some you got volunteer. I mean, you got people on the board. They've been on the board for 30 years.
Yeah.
They never have got off the board because they're good at what they do, and that's the way that board likes to run. There's nothing wrong with that. Our board is you get 1 4-year term. If you do a good job, then you can get a second 4-year term. So that's 8 total years, and then you can be a president for 2. So you could do 10 years total, and then after that, you're done. So ours stays pretty fresh because of those timelines.
Yeah, but that's enough time, in my opinion, that you get to learn your job and execute what you want to execute.
Yeah.
Instead of just a 1-year term or you know, if you had to do your job for 1 year, you'd try to learn it for 1 year, and then once you had it figured out, you wouldn't be doing it anymore. It'd be some other poor schmuck's responsibility.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good point too. I think usually in your 8 years, most people on the board are going to do 2 positions. Yeah. Usually is the way it works out. Just because things change, we need help and things move, and maybe when somebody's good at, something opens up and move to there.
Yeah. All right. Got to pay some bills real quick. Got to support the people that support us. Bozeman Stampede. Go to bozemanstampede.com to get tickets.
Folks, the Bozeman Stampede, greatest rodeo in the world, maybe the universe. Huge crowds, beautiful bulls, riders tougher than my Twitter feed. Other rodeos, sad. This one wins so much you'll get tired of winning, but you won't. Believe me.
How do you relay? Like, how do you train the next generation? Because once you're done, are you going to stick around another year and kind of counsel them? Do you take notes? Do you have a
Yeah, that's a good point. No, I will. And this is to finish that. So the president picks who does what position.
Yeah.
Every year, the president picks the director's position. So it's not even if I wanted to be concessions. I'm doing livestock, that's what I do. That's what so that stays. That's how that goes. I think it's better, like you mentioned too, in certain positions like livestock where I've been in, because of the relationship piece, because we know what we're doing long term. You know, me and you and people, all the countries talk over the year, like things are how they're going. We're going to keep going this, the direction we're all moving. We all know that. It's better to kind of have some consistency with that, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or maybe not as important in other positions on the board. But, as we, it's like drinking through a fire hose when you do switch positions because it's like, it's brand new to what you did. So we have this thing we call them the Bible.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of makes one as you go. Over the years, it was pretty neat because even when I got mine original one, it was like a 3-ring binder of just, handwritten notes and things over the year of how you'd run things. And now it's, progressed into a stick you put in your laptop and all your stuff's right there. But it's the same because it's the same thing. It helps you understand. It gives you monthly what you do every single month of the year for your directorship. So everybody has to make one of those as part of your things you have to do. And I'm actually trying to get mine finished now. But and part of that too, like you mentioned, in my position in the livestock, I think is very important. Like I said, the consistency. So whoever does it next year, I'll still come back and help them next year because I want it to run smoothly from when I did it, from Randy doing, all the time coming along. So I'll come back and do it. I'll just, instead of going to be a volunteer again, I'll just help them do my position again just to help it go smooth,
Yeah. Yeah, just be available.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Justin just doesn't want to leave.
I have a lot of fun, dude. It's 8 years is a long time, but it's also...
it's bittersweet.
Yeah, it's bittersweet. So.
Yeah. So does anybody ever want to leave? Has anybody ever just said, no, I've had enough of this, I'm not going to finish my term?
Yeah, actually, one guy did when I was on the board. But some people only do one term, just do 4 years and they leave. That does happen. That happens to some. And like one individual, since I've been on, got into their second term and then said he had enough.
Yeah.
So we just got a new director for that year as like somebody who's coming off.
Yeah.
So it happens, but I mean, mostly we're pretty consistent what we do on the timelines and pretty much, you know what you're getting into when you do it. And you don't want to let anybody down as far as not doing what you said you'd do.
Yeah.
So I just, knew what I was going to be doing. So stick to it type deal. So.
Yeah. Or the history of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got 16 positions. Mm-hmm. How many of those positions re-up every year?
Yeah. That's a good question.
4?
Yeah. So, like I said, I think there's a few that is good to stay consistent. Like, say, livestock, my position, I think sponsors is good because, you get relationship with the sponsors you're making. And publicity is good because you kind of know what's going on year to year. And you kind of, Pat Ray knows Wayne Brooks, or, it helps that stay consistent for the run of the show.
Yeah.
And, I think arena is good to stay consistent because that's the run of the show. And you know how things go, bang, bang, bang. Because, obviously our show's long. We need to try to keep on task and keep it as good as we can. Honestly, the position that comes up the most, it's probably the most strenuous, is Queen and Court.
Yeah.
And so that's the one that always is more challenging to fill just because you have to have, when you do it, you have to have a lot of free time yourself because you want the girls to have the best year they've ever had. And it's a lot of events and things. So that's just a lot of, time it takes. Like when I first came on the board, like I said, my wife was a princess and a queen. So they're like, you're a good candidate to be the new Queen and Court director. So my first year was that. So me and Kimberly. So Kimberly, she actually took a couple years off work and helped me do that position for 2 years. So we did that 2 years. We did our 2 years before COVID. And so we did full schedule there back when we had, that was back before Portland wasn't quite as weird as Portland is now. But we had the Rose Festival and just many things. Some things we don't do now because of things, times change after COVID and things. So
what was a full schedule? Like how many events, how many days, how much commitment?
No, it's like 300 events.
Holy moly.
You count parades. And if you can't, there's so many things. It's very neat. The leathers and the ladies are super neat. That's just one piece everybody sees. But through the year, we go to many rodeos. Like my year, we went to like Cheyenne and Reno pretty consistently because those rodeos support us. We support them. They went to Calgary last year. Then all the smaller rodeos too. Union and we go to so many. I can't remember how many rodeos. It was like 30 different rodeos. And then, then all the things you do to help they're there to actually kind of help publicize the roundups, part of what they're doing. So, we have a wagon train event where you can pay and you go on this wagon train event up in the mountains above Pendleton and go for a few days on horses and meals are provided. It's a real neat deal. So the girls go up there one day or won't even have dinner with all the people up there and sign posters and things like that. And there's many little parades we go to through the year. Spokane was a big one we've been going to the last few years, but Rose Festival and Reno and all those parades. And then, as you go down to it, people don't even realize during the week of Roundup, they go visit all the nursing homes in Pendleton and see all the people there. I mean, each one of those, because a lot of directors that are past directors, maybe some of them actually met them in the nursing home, and people love that. So there's so many things the Roundup board or the Roundup court does that no one even knows about. It's a really in depth position, and as you're the director for that, it's a lot of time. You're gone on things too, whether it's you have your own kids in life and. You got to make these ladies have the best year too. So there's a lot.
Yeah.
And one fun thing too that with the nursing home thing that popped into my head is like, the whole week of Roundup gets canceled for school and all that kind of stuff, and so that week before the court gets to go to every single school in the county. Like you got Helix, Athena, you got all the elementary schools in Pendleton, and then they go over there and then they get to talk to the kids and tell them about the Roundup, and it kind of introduces them to rodeo.
Yeah. So it's really a grassroots marketing campaign is what it is.
Yep.
There's so many neat things happen because of that. I mean, as when you're the director of it, because it's a lot of time, but I mean, I had 2 different sets or 5 ladies. I got to be part of their lives, part of mine. And, they still come to the house and come by and visit with us, or we see them, you get invited to go to their weddings or as they all, move on through life too. So the neat part is you have those relationships from those ladies for the 2 years I did. So that's, 10 ladies and all their stories and all their family, and you get to be involved in all that. So it's a pretty neat trade-off that you get as part of just what, comes to you from doing that, which is pretty neat. And, you see them grow. Because one of the things I wanted to do is you come on and you know them. You met them at an interview, then you're with them a whole year, and it's neat to see what how they grow personally themselves too, whether it's their speaking abilities in the public, their horsemanship, things like that. Because they have to jump the rail and things. Obviously, at our rodeos, we do a lot of horse practices in the evenings that people don't see to get ready for the Roundup, and so it's just neat to be a part of their lives as that year goes on and see them grow too. So there's a lot of neat perspectives of it, and people you meet along the way. I mean, right when we did my second year, we were going to Cheyenne. We flew into Denver, and you take that, you take those giant buses out to the Hertz car lot to get our deal. We're all on there, and they all had, when they go in public, they always kind of dress the same, so you can tell. Yeah. And then we're in Pendleton Roundup T-shirts, the good ones with the buck horse, and the guy on the Hertz bus worked for Proximo out of the East Coast region guy from Proximo. He's like, this is what we bought. You guys are the Pendleton Roundup? Like, yeah. So it was me. I met the guy. I got his number on my phone still. And so he was just. There are many different types of T-shirts available. I was weird. So we ended up visiting with him, and I said, we're the Pendleton Roundup. Yeah. And so we ended up talking with him, just pure chance, right? I mean, Proximo East Coast guy. And so he just knew that company had acquired this thing. And so just a lot of things happen between a court that nobody even sees that's outside, but it's pretty neat things too. So, yeah. But you have a lot of help. Your wife helps you a lot in that position too. Kim Rose is a huge help. I mean, planning what they wear. I mean, jewelry.
Ordering, all that ordering stuff beforehand. Like, there's a lot of ordering of clothes and figuring out what colors they're going to wear, the color scheme of the whole year, and it's like even working with Sharp Rocker on the leathers and figuring out that whole thing. Like, I mean, it's a lot.
Working with Wrangler and Cinch and all our, people like that. Yeah. So just all,
And all that stuff's local.
Yeah, all the stuff being made.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing, too. What's the tack and trappings. I mean, you would know more about that. Like, all the amazing gifts that locals, especially Native American artists too, that gift, both Roundup and Happy Canyon courts. It's unbelievable. Well,
that's a good point, because the part of that piece too, the court, and is you're with the Happy Canyon court a lot too, just because we go to a lot of things together, which is great. I worked, Casey Hunt, my first year, helped me out a lot. He's a great guy in the community. And Ben Maney, the second year, they were the Happy Canyon directors for that. And so you work in tandem with them a lot, creates a great relationship there. Yeah, and besides just the leathers and things like that, people gift them so many things. I mean, it's bags that are with their names on them, to water troughs. I mean, just so many. It's amazing what they get, which is a great thing. They spend a lot of their year, doing things. So it's all a good trade for what they do.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I mean, just so many things about Roundup is unique like that. I mean, the Queen and Court as part of our rodeo is a pretty big deal, and nobody has 5 ladies like we do, and nobody has the leathers like we do. So whenever they go somewhere, it's pretty people are pretty drawn to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of rodeos that are dropping the royalty program just because there's not enough applicants.
Yeah.
But they don't do near as much as you guys do either.
Yeah.
So it's more of a, here's a royalty deal. Who's going to deal with this?
Yeah.
Is it worth it? Which it's typically not.
Yeah.
But and I will say this, that your royalty is badass.
Yeah. And they get scholarships too when the year's over, which helps them. The ladies from the year they've given to us, they get scholarships for college when they're done too.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat.
Yeah. But I mean, their hands.
Yeah.
They damn sure ride a horse.
Yeah. No, it's a different deal, our deal, because they have to ride. Like I said, I mean, got to jump the rail, and a lot goes into that. So.
Yeah.
But I think our run in the start of our show, I think is probably, I'd put it against anybody's. I mean, the cannon goes off and the girls run in and the flag and all. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty amazing.
It's the most unique opening ever.
Yeah.
And it's so simple, and it's not overproduced, and it is awesome. Yeah. Where do you get your national anthem singers?
Well, that's pretty fun deal. That's pretty fun. So Tyler Bowman is doing competitive events. He's the director for that. So he does tryouts like in I think it's the 1st of August or end of July.
Oh, yeah, it's, August 4th.
Okay, it's this year August 4th. So he let me work on that committee with him the last couple of years. So like me and my wife, the director and their wives come. He picks 5 or 6 directors with their wives, and it's just a walk up deal. He walk up to where the kind of the Queen's Gate is there on that evening. He has a microphone out there and walks them out there, and they tell their name. And we all write down and kind of score them on the score sheet he provides for us.
You're just like the judges on that singing show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. 100%. Just like that. And we just kind of squibbling out what you think. I mean, it's ladies. There's actually some men, different things. And so that night, I mean, shoot, there'll be 30, 40 people sing and try out. So it's pretty fun. So we, as a committee, then we put it all together, and as a committee, we decide who's going to do our event, and we also have to have a couple for expos, those nights too. And so we, it ends up being, then we have people that in case somebody gets sick or doesn't show up, we have some backups and stuff. Yeah. But that's pretty neat deal, because actually it's a full-fledged tryout, just straight, come and sing it on the evening out in the grass.
Yeah. So. I've never heard an anthem in Pendleton that I didn't think to myself, I would use a recording of that at our other rodeos.
Yeah.
Like every one of them are just amazing.
Yeah.
And that's another grassroots marketing deal. I mean, every time you're doing that, you're bringing more community members into your rodeo, building more of a following.
Yep.
For your event.
Yeah. And these, people don't think, how the Expos ties in there too, and picking 2 more people for that and that thing, and that we're talking about now. But Expo is always a great tie-in with the community too, because that event we can have sponsors in the arena. So that's a different. It's a different. Obviously, it's pretty neat that it's the Expos. To me, I like it because it's all the top cowboys, 15. Beyond 15, a lot of money up. We're the finale for Expos at Pendleton, and so all that money goes to PRCA standings. It's really, that event has so much money, and it's the last one. It can just create a change in the top 15. Then we get done with that Monday, Tuesday, then they start over at our rodeo, which obviously offers a lot of money too. So a lot can happen at Pendleton and the bull riding piece that can change the run of the year. Yeah. And the Expos piece is neat too, just because that one we do have sponsors in the arena for that. So it's just a whole different show, but it's a great piece too.
And you guys go from the smallest arena in the PRCA to the biggest arena in the PRCA.
Yeah.
And those guys get a chance to get on 6 bulls.
Yeah.
So
a lot of bulls.
Yeah. 6 bulls could change the course of somebody's season with as much money as you guys have there.
Yeah, for sure. Expos is a lot, and then like I said, across the fence the rest of the week they're riding over there for a lot of money, and it is a lot of bulls in a short amount of time for a bull rider. I get that, but there's a lot of money up too. It's like I said, it's a changing time of the year, and that much money can go in that short of time in a week. So
it's a lot of bulls, but it's also put me in, coach. Let's go.
Yeah, no, they're all fired up for it. So and we've had great help with that. Like work with Cody Rostocki a lot and Fred Betcher that work with me on the bull piece of that. And it's just been a great relationship with that piece too. So so that's been a great event. It really picked up from what it used to be because of how it can make changes in our the PRCA that we're working towards. So it's been a great addition to, and we just keep making it bigger and better. So
and it's that Happy Canyon bull riding is such a cool event. I mean, those people are just right on top of that arena, and it's
Yeah.
like you're bucking bulls in your living room. I mean, it's
Yeah.
tiny,
Yeah, it's super intimate. It's just
Yeah.
but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is what makes it neat. Just, I mean, if we could sell more tickets, just because everybody loves that event and that venue so much. Like I said, and like I said, you go from there to our grounds is two different worlds, but that thing fits for the bulls, and the guys Happy Canyon do a great job making it, setting the ground up real well for it. So it's real competitive for riders and bulls, and it's been real safe. And the Happy Canyon crew's done a good job from there, how they set the arena up for the event. So it's been a great thing.
Yeah. No, I think that a lot of people come to Pendleton to see the grass, but if you go to Pendleton and you don't go to Happy Canyon, you're missing out.
Yeah. So that's a piece too. That's a great show.
Yeah.
In the evenings to go to that too. So, I mean, there's so much going on between daytime and nighttime.
Yeah.
Things to do.
And during the rodeo, the Happy Canyon night show when the bull riding's over.
Yeah. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Happy Canyon night show is great.
Yeah.
It's great. That's a awesome piece of history they've done such a great job of talking about how the history of the West.
Yeah.
And there's another ton of volunteers right there. That whole show is volunteer driven.
Oh.
I mean, and they all know their parts. They practice all summer from putting that together. It's just awesome show, and definitely worth going to. And, it's pretty unique thing too. Kind of like our rodeo is unique, and that show is unique. You don't see that anywhere. Live people talking the Old West when the Indians came out, and just all the things. And so that's pretty unique too. And like I said, it's just worth going to.
Yeah.
That's been around since 1916, which is amazing.
Yeah.
That event.
Yeah. That's fun.
So, other than being a great statistician, pretty good backup for Justin.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? What's your story?
Marketing, social media, not a rodeo guy. I grew up in Pendleton, which is, it's funny, but I grew up in Pendleton, born and raised, but never went to the rodeo, which is so wild. I didn't, but I ended up volunteering one time for Kenzie Hansel. I think at the time he was doing a lot of kickoff concert stuff for Happy Canyon. He was on the board then, and they needed like a photographer, and so I came and did that, and it was a great experience. Loved it. And then a couple years later, a friend of mine worked in the ticketing department, Carissa. She's our ticketing manager. Yeah. She said, "Hey, like there's a position open." Roundup was very forward thinking. I think in the past they had worked with a lot of agencies, but the only problem with agencies sometimes is, you hire these agencies that are, for us, they were clear in like North Carolina, so they don't really know the brand,
And it's something that you have to understand.
Exactly. Yeah.
To portray it correctly.
For sure. So, I mean, I applied, got it, and then I started learning fast, because I didn't know, in depth. Exactly. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I knew it as a town and how to represent it as a town and share it that way and market that way, but yeah, there's a lot to learn, and that's kind of how I got my start with the Roundup, and it's been great ever since.
Yeah. And so you're the guy that choreographs all the social media, all the video. Yep. You're the guy that's holding the camera most of the time.
Yep.
You're the guy that's writing the script, the shot schedule, everything.
Yep. We'll there's so many things that happen, and a lot of court stuff too. That happen throughout the year. Obviously, we get super busy once we get closer to Roundup. You'll see a lot more content then, just because the more people are coming to the arena. We got more volunteers doing a lot of behind the scenes work. So there's more content to get there.
Yeah.
But I don't want to bore everybody by posting tons of stuff Roundup that's previous things too much, just because it could just be kind of boring for people to just see it over and over again. But
so something that the Pendleton social media does phenomenal, in my opinion, is you don't just post a week before and a week after.
Yeah.
It's a year-round deal. How do you do that? Do you schedule posts throughout the season, or is it just kind of how your mind works, or what?
It's something that I've honed in on as the years have gone on. I've gotten better at figuring out the process, because social media is it's a process.
Yeah.
It's a lot goes to it, but thankfully I have an amazing crew of friends that come. I got another videographer friend that helps me. He's great. And so we, between me doing videography with my buddy and then my two other photographer buddies that come, I'm able to, get all that content. We get a lot of content for that week, and then be able to kind of use it throughout the year, as filler content, but it takes a lot to try to, you think about it, I'll just do roundup because it's the same for Expos and all that too. But like, we'll wake up early, probably 6 a.m., go out and shoot. We'll go out and shoot probably starting around noon. We'll get out there at least, catch the run in. Obviously, we're there the whole time shooting all the events. We'll go back to the office at like 5-ish whenever the event ends. And then we'll start unloading all the footage. Takes quite a while to unload that, drop it onto external hard drives, and then we'll start, after it's all loaded, we'll start, looking through all the best clips, get it all separated, and then we'll start trying to edit, try to make an edit for the next day.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the process.
So you don't have a plan. You don't start with a plan and then try to shoot that.
Oh, no, there's lots of planning.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the biggest things is trying to find music, trying to figure out the inspo for videos that you're going to be producing, when it gets closer to Roundup.
Inspo, that's like code for inspiration.
Yeah. Yep. Just, finding those things and then, being like, okay, I want to create a video that has this kind of vibe. And so I need these kind of shots. I need this kind of music with it. I need these kind of sound effects with it, and getting those all prepped and ready to go. There's some things like our Hall of Fame does an amazing job at finally getting things digitized. And so some of the things that I'm going to be putting out closer to Roundup or some vintage footage that's nicely digitized and upscaled to like higher quality, because some of it's like lower quality.
Yeah.
And so there's software programs where you can upscale it to higher quality. So it's kind of cool to see this vintage footage from the 1920s that's like in 4K.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just a whole different level of that. But, getting those pieces of content, creating them already ahead of time and saving it into a folder that's like pre-done content. Like I have a ton of that going on right now where it's like I'm already working on videos that are finished, and then I'll start scheduling when we get closer to Roundup.
Yeah.
So then I don't have to think about it too much, because I think when I first started, I was not doing that at all. I was just going on the fly because I had no clue really what was going on, and so definitely nowadays I'm way more prepared,
So when you went to work for them, was there an outline or a checklist that said
No, I just was like kind of thrown in there, to be honest.
They just said, here's your job, don't screw it up?
Yeah, there was just obviously job title, but like I think I really just learned as I went, and try to not only, I think I had to learn because Roundup really was at the forefront of hiring somebody to do content. Like I said, a lot of people go through agencies or
they
volunteer.
Still are.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of people that have not hired somebody to do content.
Yep. Which it could be a lot, but I think it's worth it. Having somebody that gets to know the brand.
And I think, me and him, when Rodney came on, ended up being friends, and because I want him to. I think if you're a director and you're not using him to help pump my piece of it. If you're the director, I'd encourage you to. Michael's easy to get along with him to figure stuff out. Like, so I said, hey, I got all the cool animals around my stuff. Let's market all that. Everybody wants to see bucking blowing out of the chutes or fast team roping runs or whatever. So I pulled him my way and said, let's do a bunch of my stuff. So I think if I was a director on other directorships, I'd want it to use him to how you promote your piece of what we get to do. Because he gets to see so many things from. The publicity piece with Pat Ray, working with Wayne Brooks and things like that, even to start up there to, the awards at the end, to the Queen of Court, like you mentioned. To me, it was important to do all the animal piece and the story behind that, and the story behind, you guys, the contractors, what you do to get here, all the miles and all the things that go on with that. So I pulled him my way, but I think that's what he's got to grasp is all the pieces of Roundup make it all come together. And he's got to see all that.
So you said that you're learning. How would you prioritize? And I'm asking these questions because other rodeos might listen to this.
Yeah.
But how would you prioritize the different aspects of your event that need promotion?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
Hope I don't get you fired for asking this question.
No, not at all. No. I'm just like, how would I prioritize that? Yeah.
And the reason I ask that question is because everybody thinks, oh, well, we need a 90-point ride.
Yeah, exactly.
But when it comes down to it, it's about the community. It's not about the 90-point ride. Sure, that's 100%. Great content, but what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, I think honestly, Yeah, no,
everything.
showing more behind the scenes stuff, more like raw stuff, really. That's kind of what I think is great, because I think there is so much of that 90-point slow motion kind of rides. You know what I mean? We're not, like, I'm trying to show.
That's not unique.
Exactly. Like, I want to show just the atmosphere of the event. I want to show the behind the scenes. I want to show the rawness of it too. You know, like, I just don't, like, that's kind of where I think your question is. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I try to do. You know,
So,
like,
say you've got tradition.
Yep.
You've got old. You've got new.
yep.
You've got action. You've got community.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got the Native American aspect. You know, that's huge. I think that was, you know, something that I personally kind of gravitated towards a lot, because I think obviously we didn't have somebody doing this, you know, so that story kind of went untold for a long time, you know, and so when I came on, that was something that I really wanted to show more of, because I mean, it's unique. That's super unique.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not like we're trying to sell that. It's just,
Yeah.
we're just trying to, you know,
Show
it.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly,
it's
yeah.
amazing. You know, I
It's a
think
huge piece of the,
yeah,
you know, from
it's
way
huge.
back.
I mean, that right there, it's like, you know, some of the videos that I've shown is like, you know, the upcoming Happy Canyon princesses, you know, and the regalia that they're wearing and the history behind that, you know, and how many generations it's been passed down, like that particular one that they're wearing, you know, like that's cool stories, you know. So different stuff like that, you know, a lot of behind the scenes stuff with volunteers, you know, like that nobody really has seen, you know, so.
I think it's an opportunity. Like the Hall of Fame was in a bit, you know, you've been fortunate to be with you this year and last year and create content for, you know, when you guys were the Grand Marshal and things, you can see all that Hall of Fame stuff. He gets to see, you know, we have a top hand award for the best youth volunteer. Just a lot of things that maybe the roads don't do. And we just do a lot of different things to try to spread things out across the community, whether it's the youth volunteers or all the adult people, obviously, that help us too. But, you know, I think as we try to continue to get more younger people in the roundup, we need them, because we need them to be there for 20 years to help the whole continue to grow. So
you got to have population replacement.
So we can't have everybody retiring because they're going to be nowhere. So he sees a lot of that too. Where
That's a good point.
I mean, they work on my side a lot. Just a lot of the younger kids work behind the timed event cattle shoots. It's a good place for them to start. You're not going to get hurt, and it's just learning the flow of the day, and it's a great place to be. But I mean, there's so many things that, you know, I don't think it. You're involved in it, but you forget how many things we have going. All the just award pieces or Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Like, just you have to sit like this and think about it before it all comes to your mind, because you get doing what you're doing, but you get to see a lot of perspectives.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's unique that, you know, being able to show that kind of thing and having people see it. It's like, holy cow, like Pendleton is like a real community. Like I really think we got one of the best communities out there. You know, it's not a lot of communities that come together like our community.
Yeah.
You know, it's like people really stop what they're doing if you really need help, and they'll help you, you know. It's awesome.
So, to paraphrase the answer that I think you just gave, tell me if I'm wrong, but you're trying to tell the stories about the event.
Yep.
So, about the event and the community.
Yeah.
That's
but all the
number
things
one
leading
thing.
up to it, too, you know what I mean? Yep.
No,
No.
I don't.
No, I mean, you know, the behind the scenes of you know, our volunteers and what they do leading up to our event.
Yeah.
Not just our event.
So, just all the stories in the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think you do a pretty good job.
Thank you.
I know you're not the guy, but I think that social media everybody's still on the fence about it. And rodeo is always the last.
Adopter of it.
Yeah, they're the last people to step up and say, yes, we're going to embrace this and do it. And we've done it, and it's been extremely successful for our portion of our business.
Yep.
But it's hard to justify the cost of social media and film and video and all of that when you're just trying to pinch pennies here and there. But I think if you're thinking long term, I think that it's something you got to do. And rodeo is always behind the curve.
Yeah.
They're already behind the curve. You guys are not quite behind the curve, but you were close.
Yeah.
But I think that you're the forerunner in rodeo from what I've seen.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate what you do too. You do an amazing job with social media as well.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, you know, there might be a misconception too of just you need all the fancy gear. And I mean, I think just starting is just start creating content. Like everybody's got an iPhone, you know, everybody's got a phone for the most part, you know, like oftentimes when I'm posting stuff during Roundup, it's like I could post a high quality video that doesn't even get as many views as an iPhone video. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's the world that we live in now. And it's like a lot of iPhone footage goes viral, so it's more about the storytelling truly than the high quality gear and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I think committees just need to remember that. Just say, hey, start just looking at what other people are doing and get some inspo and say, hey, I want to do something kind of like that and make it my own, so.
But keep it unique.
100%.
Yeah. And something I've always thought about every rodeo is every rodeo I've ever been to, it's got their own identity.
Yeah.
And your guys is obvious, but you got to dance with the one that brought you.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Don't try to be somebody you're not.
Yeah.
It's facts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody, has a lot of, everybody, I'm sure at their own rodeo has a lot of things that go into it. Like we're talking about right now, and in the rodeos you go to, talk to, very similar, in fact, things that happen, right?
Yeah.
But I just try to always keep in perspective. Like I said, the uniqueness and tradition part is to me big, but I always just try to keep in perspective, like how much volunteerism goes into making our deal work. I mean, just if you really break it down in your mind, just so much, I'm a volunteer too on the board, but I mean, it just takes a lot to make it all happen. And so for that to all happen and be successful like the Roundup's been over all these many years is pretty neat testament to what we keep talking about as a community and things. It's pretty, it just keeps going. It's just pretty neat. So
yeah. What's new? Headed forward. What's the next step this year? What's cool?
Yeah.
What's some cool shit that Justin's going to do?
It's cool shit. Well, I think this year, it's my last year, which is, like I said, we are kind of, good and bad. But no, we have a lot of things that, as far as the rodeo goes, we have a lot of stuff coming out. You're going to see next a little bit, some pretty big trademark stuff that's going to come out. Not really my deal, but that's pretty unique. A couple of things, I'm thinking. And, for me, I was just really, as my time is starting to be shorter, I just kind of reflected more, honestly. I think I've done, I had a lot of responsibility, I think, to carry on how we were doing things, the neat thing about that Dave and Randy had brought. And then I was the next person to do that. As I leave, they were both here when I was still on the board. When I got on the board doing the program, they kind of started with the rough stock. When I'm gone now, there'll been no one from that starting point how we pick them.
Yeah.
So that's a little unique. But the next person that does it, I'll make sure show up.
That selects the livestock.
Yeah, that selects it. So the next, I'll bring that tradition along, but there'll be no one left. Those guys were on when I started it, and then I'll be nobody's been there still. But I've tried to do things over the time. Like I said, the CapEx project in the North Grandstands, and try to do some things that will be beneficial for a long time after I'm gone. That helped, you guys and what you do, and helped the Roundup, and something I could see that needed, done, and got to do that. And was fortunate that they thought that was a good CapEx project to put through. And then I just, I've been thinking about the neat thing is we've talked about it, a lot today with the volunteers and stuff, but the relationships you make over the time with like yourselves as the stock contractors, all the people on the board over the years I've been on it, from our board and the Happy Canyon board that have helped me along the way a lot of years, especially the first 2 years with the Happy Canyon guys, with Queen and Court, because they were a fun group too, and very active, and went a lot of the places I went with Queen and Court, and so a lot of them would go along just to have, and a lot of those guys are on our board now too, like Corey Neistat, Kinsey Hansel, and Tanner, and the Jason Hill. Those guys were on the Happy Canyon board when I was first on the Roundup board. Now they've come over, so there's just a lot to look at and appreciate about that, and think about as I move forward. I'll help the next person, obviously, the next couple of years or whatever, and see what I can do to help continue to make it good. And I don't know what else I'll do, but do other things.
Maybe I'll team up again. I don't know. He started off a year helping back. Nice, it's 2.
I don't know what I'll do. No. But no, it's been a fun time, and just a lot going on. So a lot to. And I think the more you're into it and you appreciate it, and it makes you want to make it better. So I think I've tried to do that, and the relationships I have with you and the other guys just help me get more perspective on how to make it better. So I think that's been good. And then the unique thing from my perspective on my position, how we pick the livestock, it's pretty unique, and so that's been a pretty fun part to learn too. So that's what I would just kind of been thinking about, those kind of things.
So Jordan Peterson talks a lot about sacrifice being the true meaning of life.
Yeah.
Basically. What about being a volunteer? How much do you have to sacrifice? How hard is it for you, for your job, your business, your family, your time, and is it worth it?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I think especially like during Roundup, obviously that's what during the actual production is when I'm full court press for me. So I bring my living quarters trailer down there before the weekend. We have to run timed event cattle through all weekend. You guys start showing up. So we're in timed event cattle, then, and then, the concerts one night, and then we get the Expos set up ready, and all those bulls are there. And the Expos is so many bulls. Not only do I have all the bulls you guys bring, my main contractors, but we have to usually bring in a couple off-site just to have enough bulls for those 2 nights. And then we go back to, of course, all your animals for our rodeo. So there's during Roundup, there's obviously a lot, but before that, I think, people understand, a lot of people do this thing that we do, other rodeos and other things in life. But, with Queen and Court the first couple of years, to me, it was harder because, my wife helped me a lot because she'd been done it in the past, but my daughter was high school rodeo and my son's doing sports. So you're trying to balance. I always think about it, like you said, I don't want to take away from my kids' life because I'm doing what Justin Terry wants to do. That's not fair to them. So I need to make their life as fulfilling as I can as their dad, but also I chose to do this with the Roundup too. So I need to make sure I give them 100% also. So we did. I have, but it's nice having a wife that helps you out. Kimberly's been a great help over the years with me. When I, obviously love going to rodeos and my daughters. And so the times I couldn't do that, Kimberly would take her. I did Roundup stuff. Or, my son Jake, he plays lacrosse. He's real good at that. So same deal. Like he's had some tournaments, I couldn't go. So Kimberly takes him. So we've just kind of been fortunate with a good home life to be able to, a good team there to kind of split things up and make sure everybody's getting taken care of, as far as the family goes. And and then the Roundup piece, just got to, you sign. I think anybody that has the heart to do it, signs up, they're going to give it 100%, I hope. And so that's what I tried to do and so just take time, but that's part of what you signed up for. So
is it worth it?
Yeah, no, it's been worth it. To me, just when it's done, like these 8 years are done, the part that makes it worth it is all the relationships I've built and I'm going to have still forever, even though this part is done. You still, with you or the guys on the board or whatever, that's the part to me that made it worth it because it wasn't like I was doing something that was so flippant that you quit and you're like, well, that was a couple of years of my life, that's gone. But that is such an encompassing thing because relationships are so much a part of everybody's life, whether it's family or friends or whatever. That's how we live. That's how we're humans, right? That's all what we do with people. And so to create great relationships with people that are in a sport that I like, rodeo, it makes it all the better. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the best friends that I've got came from work, like people that I work for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, that makes it worthwhile.
It's definitely a benefit of rodeo. And we've talked about it on here before with lots of different people, but rodeo doesn't pay very good, even if you're a paid employee or a contestant.
Yeah.
You do it because of the people.
Exactly.
Yeah. What about you, Michael? Any secrets you can let the cat out of the bag? Anything new coming up?
No, nothing crazy new. We got some cool, I'm obviously doing social media marketing stuff, but like I've kind of dabbled a little bit of retail recently, just like with some upcoming merch for the 100-year anniversary of the Bucking Horse logo.
Okay, talk.
Yeah,
Can you?
Yeah. We totally can. We're in the final process finally of just like finalizing everything. It's taken longer than I thought.
Okay, so it's the 100-year anniversary.
Yep.
Not of the Roundup.
Nope.
But of
the
logo.
Yes. Yep. This logo, the logo that we use, the Bucking Horse logo, that was made in.
I think I just muted myself. So
did you?
You're going to have to repeat
do it again,
what I just said.
You repeat that. What would you say? This year is the 100.
It's not the 100-year. It's not the 100-year anniversary of the Roundup. It's the 100-year anniversary of the logo.
Correct. Yeah.
And so that's the stuff you're talking about.
Yep. This year marks the 100-year anniversary of the logo, made by Wallace Smith. He came in 1924. And he was an illustrator from Chicago, came down to the Roundup. I think his girlfriend at the time, her wife, was working for the Oregonian. She was a journalist. And she said, hey, you should go to the Roundup. Like, he was a talented illustrator. And she said, I think you should go. So he said, okay. And so he came down, talked to our board. And for 3 days straight, he was just down there in the arena just sketching away. And so after that 3 days, he came to our board and said, hey, this is all the stuff I did. And then we picked the one that we picked, and we paid him $250 at the time for the logo, which is cool.
Probably a pile in 1924.
Yeah, totally. And I think, what's funny is, not to get off on a tangent, but in today's money, that's almost $5,000 in today's money, So, but anyways, we're working on some merch. We're working some jackets, some prints that we haven't shared. We haven't shared the prints yet, but they'll be coming. So be on the lookout.
And can I say it?
Yeah,
I've seen them, and they are so cool. That's one of the most distinct logos in the Western world, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and the stuff that you showed me the other day goes right with it, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The ones he's going to bring out just to show is amazing. That there's that 3 that are that neat. You could, or a couple we showed you, but there's all of them are their own. Bring something to the deal. The Women 3, I think, is the best. But.
It's just cool that it's just it's some artwork that I think a majority of people, probably 99% of people, haven't seen. So I think it'll be cool to share. Yeah. So it'll be a great way to celebrate the 100-year, and then obviously this year marks the 115th anniversary of our roundup, so that's pretty big too. And so we have some upcoming news regarding that, as far as some big rodeo news. Yeah. So
How
much money are you adding? Which rodeo are you going to pay this year?
That was the news I was talking about.
So we're, that's funny.
Well, actually, that'll be perfect because he's not going to put this out.
It'll be a while before it comes out. It'll be out by then. So it's we added another 115,000 to the purse this year because it's the 115th year. We also start at 115 every day.
Yep.
So it has some uniqueness behind the dollar figure of that perspective of the years and the time. What we start. So we had another 115,000 to the purse this year. So we're well entrenched in the top 10 in the United States again of all the rodeos. So we just want to keep. That's my deal. Obviously, my piece is in the arena, with you guys and the contestants and things. And so I always want us to keep perspective of the rodeo. And I think part of that is, adding money and creating just creating as we win large outdoor rodeo of the year. We talked about this earlier in the conversation. Just keep us in the top tier of what we're doing. And that means added money. And so we had another big chunk this year. So I think it's pretty impressive.
So what will your estimated payout be?
It'd be, I think, $62,500 per event.
Not bad.
Right, I think it's
62. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's 65 or something.
Yeah. It was a odd number, actually, but 65 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, and it'll change a little bit depending on entries.
The fees, so that's before entry fees,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Michael,
Yep.
What is your best Pendleton Roundup rodeo event story?
Oh, I mean, honestly, I got some fun ones, but I think last year, just for me personally, just first thing that comes to mind is just me getting hit by the bull. I was
You were one of those guys?
I was one of those guys. Yeah, we might have to play a clip. I might have to send you it, and you might have to insert it in here. But it was wild because...
And that's your fondest memory?
It was fun, man. I feel like, Randy Brocker, he's kind of hard ass. He was sitting in the east section when it happened. He saw the whole thing, and I feel like he finally gave me kudos. He was like, all right, you earn my respect here. Because I took it like a champ, Like, I could have got...
Nothing got broke or anything.
Dude, I mean, my chest was hurt for like 5 months still after that, but no camera gear. Like, I had my camera in one hand. That bull came right through the fence. I mean, this bull I've seen this bull before. I even got footage of him. I'll stand there because I tell all my boys, I'm like, hold the line. That's our thing. We're just like, hold the fucking line, Sorry if I'm cussing here. But hold the line. And we always hold it. I say, don't fucking flinch.
Which is the dumbest thing you could possibly
100%. But you know what? We've done it. Nothing's happened ever since I've worked there. And this is the first time I stood there and he just, boom, plowed through it, hit me in the chest, knocked me over, and I got right back up, and it hurt bad, but I acted like a champ, and I just stayed out there. But
for anybody that doesn't know or understand, they set up a smaller arena inside the huge arena for the bull riding, and they set up panels, but
PVC.
The panels are made out of plastic.
Yeah, PVC.
PVC pipe.
It's a good show. It makes for entertainment when everybody likes the bulls to get out one time. One time of the week's great.
Yeah.
Because our show goes too long, we start getting bulls out. It starts getting a real long show. So we got to keep it all, and we don't get too hurt. But it is a different dynamic when the PVC starts getting broke.
Don't want to get anybody hurt.
No.
Want to sell some tickets.
Yeah,
for sure. Everybody loves it.
So me and Kenny Behringer last year, Kenny's got a bull. I can't remember what he calls him, but I'm sure everybody who's followed the Pendleton Roundup last year, saw the social media clips, Cody Webster getting hooked over the top of this fence. We did. I will take responsibility. It was Kenny's idea. I'll blame him.
When you load that number 1 shoot, something's going to happen.
Number 2 shoot. Yeah,
Was
we didn't put him in
two?
the very front
Okay,
because
that's
we didn't want to kill people.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we knew that bull was going to turn back right around the end of the gate, and he would come and get somebody. And as it turned out, he did.
Yeah.
Dusty Tuckness is still a little upset about that.
Yeah.
Cody Webster took it pretty good.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard anything from Nate, so...
Yeah.
When you load those bulls that far down and it's that close to that.
It's all about the show, right?
Yeah. And honestly, you know what? That got a lot of views. That got a lot of views, and nobody was hurt, and it was fun. But
Yeah.
It was a little wild.
It was wild. It was Western.
Which is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
100%.
Cowboy shit.
Yeah.
All right. What's your
I
best
don't know.
Pendleton story?
I think to me, since I've been a director, like I said, I had a ton of fun with the ladies, Queen of Court. But the thing with the livestock piece, that's what I wanted to do. That was what I'm happy I got to do the longest part. But do you do one of these, because I had so much, like I said, Dave and Randy did such a good job before me, and I just don't want to let anybody down. So I just like to be successful. And so when I took it on, I was I didn't know you. I just met you. I didn't know anybody. These are my contractors, and we got to put this on. It's got to be badass, JT. Don't let anybody down. I'm like, fuck. I was a little nervous. I mean, I was a lot nervous my first year, but the coolest part was, hadn't had relationships built with any of you guys yet. And I'm like, never want anything to go bad, or didn't want to let anybody down. So that first year when it all just kind of came together, and, part of my job is, I'm on the grounds, but if anything happens with any horse, like, it's up to me to take care of it. I mean, with the vets, obviously, if I'm not a vet, but I mean, and every year, just such a big rodeo with so many horses and so much stuff. Like, there's tons of horses in the pavilion where our stalls are. I mean, the first year, a horse Collington died. It was a little girl's parade horse. I mean, just over the year. I mean, obviously,
freak deal.
Mm-hmm. A calf horse broke a leg the next year, and of course, luckily he was insured. But I mean, the insurance doesn't pay for what you just lost. Last year Calgary horse went down, and I mean, every year something. But so, that's all in perspective. But I think the first year, once it went off great, and I was just like, took a deep breath, and I was like, all right, it's gonna be good. And just had to get through that first year with and then since then, once you kind of know the flow and you get to know everybody, it just makes it easier and better. But that was really a real positive, good thing to me, is having it went great. I mean, ever since then it's been good. I mean, hopefully we will continue to do great. But that was just having to learn the whole process. So and have to put it out there and we're Pendleton. I can't let anybody down. Just such a good thing to have it all be successful with everybody's help. But it's just a lot your first time to take it all in and grasp it all and get it out there. So it was good that's probably one of it, just created a good, made you feel good. It all went like it was supposed to go. So,
well, I love positive sentiments, but you got to tell a story.
Oh, I got some, they're probably R-rated ones too, but
doesn't need to be R-rated.
No, I mean, shoot, I have to think about.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of stuff.
So much stuff, man. I don't know.
So one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Bobby Marriott, first bareback horse last year. Mm-hmm. Horse falls down, knocks him out. Yep. Very first bareback horse, first performance. Yeah. And then this year, poor old Bob thought he was going to rope a bull, and guess what? His horse falls down, and he falls off his horse again.
Yep.
Those were too good.
Yeah.
It was funny because he came right back on after he got bucked off, and he just goes back to doing it. He didn't remember. He was out, and he was still out on the horse. He didn't remember what he was going on. He was blank tape right then. It was like hilarious. That was a good part right there. That was a funny part because that dude he's such a great guy. He just came up there, jump back on. I'm not going to get anything. He was just going through the motions, but just checked out. I mean, he admitted later that was pretty funny.
Yeah, we get to tell stories about pickup men forever. Billy Ward and Bobby Marriott riding their horses back to the roundup grounds from Krabby's. And apparently that is not legal. And so a cop made them get off and lead their horses all the way back to Krabby's. Or back to the roundup from Krabby's.
Yeah, we gotta change that. We gotta make that legal.
Yeah, there's so much goes on in the week. It's just so fun. Like back where you guys are at and the camp back there. I mean, there's always shenanigans going on that everybody's playing jokes around with and Billy Ward's obviously always in that deal. Like didn't you have the magnetic stickers on your truck, and he puts them on? I mean, he's always just doing all that kind of stuff's just a great part of the fun. I mean, just
anything Billy does is not clever, but he's very proud of it.
Very entertaining. Yeah, it's pretty good. So.
I think that's one of the beauties that stands out to me of Roundup is like, man, there are so many different pockets of people and even just like their own traditions. You know, like you could meet a whole new crew and all of a sudden you're like, well, how long have you been doing it? You know, like 20 years and like this is what we do. You know, there's people that just have, you know, a whole Bloody Mary stations, and it's their thing to have a Bloody Mary station on a certain block to watch the Westward Ho Parade. You know, it's just like there are so many cool traditions that I still, you know, you can't see them all, you know, but you learn about them every year. You know? So it's the beauty of Roundup.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we're just glad to be part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
appreciate you being part of it.
Appreciate all your help.
Yeah.
You helped me over the years, and I appreciate that. And just good to keep it all going.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming out and talking on these microphones.
Yeah.
Hopefully we see some footage from here at
absolutely.
the ranch. That
we will for sure.
You got.
We're about to
and thanks for all the slave labor.
Yeah.
We did kind of abuse Justin here the last couple days.
It was all right. It was good.
That was awesome.
Fun.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Thank you.